Good morning, Pastor John McKenzie here. We are looking at Wednesday, the 16th, in our daily lectionary, and we get Genesis 50, the death of Joseph. So Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house, and Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were born upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am about to die, but God will visit you and bring you up out of this land to the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Then Joseph took an oath of the sons of Israel, saying, God will visit you, and you shall carry up my bones from here. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt. Well, here we have the whole concept of death. I just got word that a distant acquaintance of mine, her daughter died overseas of liver problems. So death can strike at any age, and one ought to always be prepared and ready to give an account to the Lord of one's life. But of course, that account is going to involve being a day short, a dollar short, and a day short. In the Middle Ages, the big fear that Christians had of death at any age was to die unshriven. That is to say, to die in a state in which I had not confessed my sins before a priest of the church and received absolution from that same priest of the church. That was to be shriven. And to die unshriven was a great fear. It was a fear that one would be sent to hell without passing go and without collecting $200. I don't think Christians have that same fear today, although perhaps they ought to. Today, the fear has more to do with a reticence to trust in the resurrection of the dead and to trust in Jesus' promises to share his resurrection life with us. If we are prepared to see death as a temporary state, if we are prepared to declare that it's not life that's terminal, it's death that's terminal, if we are prepared to see that we go into our deaths accompanied by the one who says, I am the resurrection and the life, the one who believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live, and whoever lives and believes in me shall never die, then death is something that we can survive. Well, that's a rough way to put it. Death is something that is not the final word regarding our lives and our existence, but the life of the resurrection is the final word regarding our lives and our existence. What then of the fear of death? Well, one ought to be afraid to die if there is a lot of unfinished business in this world, and we're not merely looking at our own unfinished business, we're thinking of God's unfinished business. How can God use you this day before your death as a way of blessing, as a way of remonstrance, as a way of example, as a way of integrity in a world where integrity has been left by the wayside? How can God use you to bless the persons in your circle of influence, both close in your family, further out in your community and in your associations and in your workplace, and even further out in God's world? In the end, God wins, and because of the promise of Jesus Christ, God gives us the victory. With that perspective, death is not nearly as fearsome as it is for the unbelievers. Death is something which is going to happen. It's still the enemy, make no mistake about that, but it's an enemy who in principle has been overcome, and in reality for you and for me will be overcome by the resurrection our Lord shares with us. Have a great day. God bless.